Well, it's Scott again. I just wanted to quickly go over some of the Web 2.0 technologies. Um, this is Google. Most people know how to search Google, and you can sit and come up with a word, the Piazza San Marco, that you may be interested in finding some information in. You can also search for images. Um, it's just the catalog of what's out on the internet. Okay, now let's imagine, let's start looking at some of the newer technologies. So Flickr is pretty much every cell phone nowadays comes with a built-in camera. They also come with built-in GPSs and the ability to upload those pictures. So Flickr is a place where a lot of people take these instantaneous disposable pictures and upload them onto Flickr. But Flickr also maintains who uploaded them. If the camera has a GPS, it keeps track of what the location the picture was taken when it was uploaded. It's just an easy way. It also has a social network, so you can say, I'm friends with Mary, and then every time Mary uploads a picture onto Flickr, I get an alert and I can go see Mary's new pictures. It's just a way for people to look at pictures. Okay. Flickr also has RSS subscriptions so that I can actually get a uh, RSS subscription of Mary's pictures. Um, Now, in programming we call those web services, and you can start doing some really cool things. Imagine now we have a limitless amount of pictures, or in this case we have about 20,000 pictures. And if I were to pick Seattle, maybe more or less pictures. Um, so Seattle has about 1.7 million pictures, and you can start to see some of the examples of the pictures. Okay, now I can create a computer function that says, show me all the pictures that are in Flickr associated with the word Seattle or Mary, or every time a new picture of Seattle gets uploaded and I want it specifically from this angle or this GPS coordinates, go ahead and send it to my application. Popfly is a visual way for you to actually start doing these, taking disparate data sources, or in this case a picture, web service, and mashing it up, or adding it to another um, web service. An example may be you'd have a web service for news feeds and a web service for photos, and since they both have geographical information or information in them about where the picture was taken, geospatial information, you'd start to say, show me the pictures associated with that location that the news photo was coming out. So let me see if I can demo this. So Popfly is just a way to create what are called mashups. This is where you actually compare two different web services. So we're going to look for, let's go for photos again. And so some of the different options for photos are, let's do an image search. So we could search Flickr, we could just search, this is like searching Google. In this case, I'm going to search here for the Piazza again. I want 10 results. Let's make that 15 photos. Okay, so it's just a way where I just wrote a real simple user application on give me a query of 15 images. Okay, now I say, what can I do with it? Give me examples of things I can do with it. So I can have it go to a page turner, a flip show, or a slideshow, or a photosphere. Let's see what this photosphere looks like. So then I say, take the output from our 15 queries and send it over here. Okay, and I say preview, and let's see what we get. We're going to get an application, which just is a photosphere of 15 photos, and this is a dynamic feed, so 15 photos every time you load the application of the Piazza. We could go customize it. And say I'm not interested in that anymore. Let me say I want ORNL. That's probably going to be too vague. I want Tom Mason. So I want photos of Tom Mason. And now let's go back to my photosphere. My photosphere is now getting updated. And here's a bunch of pictures of Tom going around my photosphere. not sure how well the photosphere will work on. You can click on it and zoom in on Tom. How well it'll work there. So let's go back and customize again. Let's get rid of the photosphere. We're not really liking that one. Let's put one of my favorite ones out there, Whack-A-Mole. So we're going to take the pictures, send it to the Whack-A-Mole, and then sit here and play a game. I do have high score on this, so. All right, so before I get in trouble, I'll turn this one off. That's how you create a mashup. That's how you take two different data sources, so a web service feed of pictures, and send it to another web service feed. In this case, it was visualization sphere, visualization Whack-A-Mole, but we could have done something a little more complicated. So now, if we go back to, go ahead and close. If we go back to our Flickr search, we believe now that there's this web service, or the ability to query a limitless amount of data and get pictures. You'll notice that some of the pictures, like there's the steeple, okay? There's the dome, that's the same dome. Your and my eyes are really good, and our brains are really good at figuring out those are similar. They're taken from different angles. And if we get 2 or 3 pictures, we can actually start coming up in our head with what angle each one's taken from. Okay? Computers can do the same thing. So now imagine that you have a limitless amount of pictures, thanks to kids with cell phones with cameras in them with GPSs, uploading their pictures onto things like Flickr. We can start building 3-dimensional maps. So that's what this is. Okay, so here we're looking at the same piazza, and what we're doing is, you see this little outline around where whenever I hold my mouse, a little outline pops up. It's another picture that it's recognized that would be right there. So I can zoom in here, and it's actually going to a different picture because the computer said these pictures have things in common. That little lion thing, even though they're taken from different angles, it gets blurry for a minute because of the bandwidth. Okay, now let's zoom out and say, I'm actually interested in seeing more of the piazza, and it starts figuring out that we have this in kind of a 3D model is what we've got going on. So now I'm going to ask for, instead of seeing the picture, I want to see a fly around of what the computer's been able to determine the 3D plaza looks like. So I'm going to do that again, and this time I'm going to stop it. Okay, so now I've got the mouse moving around and kind of controlling it. So it's figured out what the piazza looks like. I'm going to go back to the parent frame. All of this is based on just information that's available on the internet from those Flickr photo feeds. And so you can sit here and just say, move me around, walk me around this place in kind of a 3-dimensional. I'm going to turn my head all the way around. I've never been here, but it's automatically stitching the photos together, and it's determining the 3-dimensional aspects of the plaza. So imagine a world 2 to 3 years from now where we have a large enough supply of every building photographed from every angle, and we've had enough computers sit and crunch it that we have a full 3D model of the outside, inside of every building. It allows you to start thinking about doing some really cool things with geospatial information and all sorts of other new technologies.